You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good morning and welcome into this edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba on ASTV Productions. I'm your host, Graham Forsyth. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Monday morning, Manitoba. It's going to be a lot of fun today. We got 4 guests joining the show. We got 2 live interviews. One of them is pre-recorded. We're going to have that in the second segment of today's episode. But yeah, we got some great guests joining us. After the break, we're going to take I guess not a break, but after the intro, we're going to introduce that first guest in today's show. It's the return of a segment called The Farm Report here on ASTV Productions here on Rise and Shine Manitoba. But yeah, you know what time it is, Manitoba. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy this edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba because it's time to rise and shine. And as the intro plays, we now transition into moving into the first guest of today's episode. As I said, it's the return of a segment we do here on ASTV Productions here on Rise and Shine Manitoba called The Farm Report. Harry Siemens, he is going to be joining me, of course, as his name is on the segment. And yeah, I'm going to have a chance to ask Harry about all things to do with agriculture and just what's been going on recently in the agriculture community here in Manitoba. So without further ado, please welcoming in Harry Siemens here on this edition of the Farm Report. Harry, thank you so much for joining me on this Monday morning. I talked to you on the phone yesterday, but this is my first time ever seeing you face to face. How are you doing on this Monday morning? How have you been doing?
You know what? If I was any better, I couldn't stand myself. So it's good. I'm doing great. You know what? It's good to be on the show with you, Graham. And you know, I've been doing this for a few years, and I always love to talk about agriculture because agriculture is the basic industry that we have in the world feeding people.
Yeah, for sure. And you said you've been doing this for a few years, and I mean, like 51st year as a farm journalist. Just how's that journey been up until now?
You know, the journey has been absolutely great. You know, a lot of the things I do, I get paid for, and sometimes you wonder why, as long as those sponsors aren't listening. You know, but at the same time, I did radio for 14 years, and then I went on my own. I've been a professional speaker, a seminar conductor across Western Canada, and then I did a television show for 9 years, and now I'm a freelance farm journalist. I write for 3 farm publications across Canada, and I love it. I work from home, have worked from home since 1985, and so it's good.
Wow. So you started working from home a lot sooner than a lot of people here that I know of anyways. Just how's that journey been of just, going into radio, writing about farming and just all the stuff that you've been able to do?
The first thing that comes to mind, I farmed with my father and my brother back from 1965 to 1975, but I started the farm broadcasting in 1971. And I learned very quickly that to be a broadcaster effectively and a journalist, you've got to know how to communicate. My father was a very good farmer, and but he only had grade 3 or 4 education, and yet he was so good at it. But I would do a report initially on the radio station, and Dad would say, "Well, what did you say, Harry? What?" I couldn't understand it. And after about 3 times asking me that, here's my best fan, can't understand me. And I decided right there, I'm going to speak so Dad can understand me. And that's how I've always written, talked, whether it's broadcasting, live presentations, and writing. Dad is long gone, but I write and speak so that Dad can understand me. And that's been the key part of my journey. And I've just continued along that basis, learning by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was very proud of you, very proud of what you've been able to do. And, with all your knowledge here in the agriculture industry, just in the community, just could you give us the updates of what's been going on recently in the community of agriculture?
Well, the first and foremost, right across the entire gamut, we have record farm prices. We have canola prices over $20 a bushel, and that's unheard of. And it's because we have more demand out in the world for canola and almost every crop than what we have on hand. And then the second biggest thing is, especially here in southern Manitoba, and we've had some rain in various parts of the province over the weekend and last week, but we still have a major drought in the Red River Valley west of the Red River. And it's a major drought. I mean, the crops are in absolute survival stage. Every day we don't get, they deteriorate even further. I drove to Winnipeg on Friday and I saw far too many black fields where the crop simply hasn't come up because there wasn't any moisture to bring it up. The other thing is technology is one of the key factors driving agriculture. I mean, farming without technology today, a farmer can have 3 or 4 consultants because the technology is such that, they need people to teach them. But farmers are good learners, and that's good.
Yeah, that's great. And just diving into just the lack of rain that we've been getting. I mean, like you said, we got some here on the weekend in various parts here in Manitoba, but other than that, it's been pretty dry here in Manitoba in terms of rain. Just how would you say that? I mean, it's never easy, I assume, as a farmer, but how would you say farmers have been adapting to the lack of rain?
As they always do, it's the experience. It's getting advice where they can get advice. It's the biggest challenge that they have is, to put in a crop. You take an average crop is about $300 an acre. So that's the challenge. And that means planting, seeding, getting the seed, planting, crop protection products, fertilizer, all those kinds of things. So sometimes it's like one person told me, he was taking his banker for a ride early on. He says, and it's here I'm pouring all this, these production costs, and his banker was the guy that gave him the line of credit. And so he says, I'm pouring all this stuff into dry soil. But at the same time, faith is a big factor, experience, and the farmers have been here before, but this is about as dry as it's been in the 51 years that I've been a farm journalist.
Yeah, and hopefully we do end up getting some more rain. I mean, I love the nice weather. I'm sure you do too, but obviously,
Totally.
Yeah, obviously, if we get some rain, it'll help our Manitoba farmers out. Just talking about canola. Just you said that the prices are pretty much ridiculous right now, just of how expensive they are. Why would you say that is exactly? Why do you say that canola prices are so high at this point?
Well, it's a demand around the world. See, we have probably 5, 6 canola crushing plants in Western Canada. I think 40% of it goes as processed canola. The rest goes as raw seed. Japan, China, all the demand for canola. The biggest challenge that we've seen now is because of the plans and the programs that the governments are putting forth, it's becoming part of the fuel sector. It's becoming part of that environmentally friendly fuel sector. So there's a new plant going up in Northgate, Saskatchewan, just inside Saskatchewan on the Montana border. And it's the same company that owns Delmar Commodities here in Winkler. And I had a chance to visit with the CEO out of Minneapolis. And he says, yes, it's using canola oil in industrial fuel. That's been driving the demand, and also the consumers who love canola oil. And last year, as one analyst told me, he says we had a little less crop than we had thought, and the demand has been a little bit more than what we thought. So that means that the demand, when you have so many billions of people in the world, and the demand starts to drop, and there isn't nothing coming forward, then the price goes up.
With your connections just in the industry all across just North America, just getting to talk to all these different people, like you said, you had a chance to talk to an analyst too. Just what's that been like? Just getting to connect with all these different faces in the agriculture community.
Well, I started reaching out to people once I realized that I was in a work that I really loved. So engaging people. I have 28,000 followers on social media. Wow. That includes 5,000 on Facebook, 7,300 on Twitter, and another 15,000 on LinkedIn. I publish daily. I reach out. I ask questions. If I need something, some answers, I go to my sources on Twitter. It's probably the best use of Twitter is agriculture and the farmers. So I can get on and I can say, guys, help me, and gals. Yeah. And before I know it, I have 20 responses from some of the top farmers. Well, you know what? Right now, we've got 1.5% of the population farming. We have, we basically only have top farmers in the business nowadays.
Yeah, and that's great that you're able to connect with the community on a day-to-day basis, it seems, or like any time you need on a place like Twitter, which is great. Last question before I let you go. How would you say that COVID-19 has affected the way that the agriculture industry runs at this point?
First off, COVID, because farmers are social distancing, there's only, right, the farmer and maybe a son or a daughter or hired hand. So they're social distancing. So their biggest challenge was, if we're going into spring seeding, was if any one of them would get sick and have to isolate for 12, that could be the entire seeding time, because it doesn't take that long to put in a crop. So that's number one. But it didn't happen. I think we've been okay. But at the same time, in livestock, farming isn't only crops. It's also cattle and chickens and hogs. And we had some shutdowns of processing plants, like a cattle plant in Alberta, a hog plant also in Alberta. In the United States, they had to shut down because they had COVID. And so all of a sudden you have pigs. The Brandon plant, the Maple Leaf plant in Brandon, takes 85,000 pigs a week. And if they shut down 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, that means those pigs are backing up. You can't put live pigs on the shelf. They've got to first be processed, right? So we've been fortunate. That caused some hiccups early on for our livestock production, but I believe the whole issue of demand probably has come in part from people staying at home and making their own meals, and the restaurants are closed at many places. So that's increased, I believe, the demand. But the whole thing has shifted, and now it's shifting back. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, Harry. It was so nice to be able to chat with you for the first time ever. Here is my time doing Rise and Shine Manitoba. We hope to stay in touch consistently on a week-to-week basis and get the update on what's going on in the agriculture community. I thank you so much for joining me on this Monday morning.
Thank you very much, and good luck with the show. You're off to a great start, Graham.
I appreciate that, Harry. It means a lot from a guy that has so much experience in the reporting industry, stuff like that. So I'm going to let you go now, Harry. We're going to go to our first commercial break here in today's episode, and I'll be back with you guys with some more Rise and Shine Manitoba. But first, a word or a message from one of our sponsors.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back to this edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba here on ASTV Productions. Just going to get rid of my graphics here as I forgot to take them off. But yeah, welcome back to the show. Of course, Harry Siemens joined me on the Farm Report earlier in the first segment of the show before we went to break. If you guys want to check it out, go check it out after this episode. But yeah, we want to hear from you here in Rise and Shine Manitoba. Of course, we do the show live every Monday morning, so just let me know what you guys are doing on this Monday morning, how you're spending it, if you're at work, if you're at home, if you're watching from school, if you're on the road. We'd love to hear from you. So this next interview that we got here on the show for you guys today is a pre-recorded interview. It's with two players from the Pembina Valley Hawks U18 female hockey team. It's Abbi Conrad and Mikaylie Bibault, and both of these players are seniors. They ended up taking home the 2021 Esso Cup 2017 Legacy Scholarships. I called it something else in the intro, not in the intro, in the interview, but yeah, my apologies for getting that wrong. But yes, they did win the 2021 Esso Cup 2017 Legacy Scholarships. They were the recipients of the award this year. And in today's interview, in today's episode, I had a chance to ask these two about just the experience of writing that, just all things to do with the scholarships. So please join me in welcoming in the two guests now in this pre-recorded interview, Abbi Conrad and Mikaylie Bibault, the 2021 recipients of the Esso Cup 2017 Legacy Award. And we're rolling. Joining me now from their school, they're masked up, they're ready to go. It's Mikaylie Bibault, and to her left, it's, to her right, it's Abbi Conrad, the two winners of the 2017 Esso Cup Legacy Award. They're the 2021 recipients, and you girls are in school right now doing this interview. So how has the school day gone for you guys so far?
Pretty good. Okay. It's really hot, though.
Yeah, it's really hot out today. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's finally seeming like it's summer, and hopefully we're able to actually gather with people and get to see friends and stuff and make a good summer. But which high school are you guys in right now?
Prairie Mountain High School in Somerset, Manitoba.
Oh, nice. So just how's it like wearing the mask right now doing this interview? I know that it's not ideal, but how's that like?
Well, it makes it a little bit harder wearing this mask, but
yeah.
When we're sitting at our desk and social distance from everyone, we don't have to wear them, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's definitely a benefit for sure, not being able to wear it all day long at school. But yeah, we'll step away from that right now. We'll talk about the Legacy Award, the Esso Cup Legacy Award that you two won. winning this award, an award that, the Pembina Valley region, just the background of this award, the Pembina Valley region hosted the Esso Cup National Female Midget Championship in April of 2017. The host committee was fortunate to generate a legacy fund that has been used to promote the development of female hockey in the region. So in a year like this, where everything was not normal in terms of you guys not being able to have a full season, just what does that mean for you guys being able to win this award with the winners that have been chosen before you guys?
You can go. Well, it's definitely an honor to get this award, especially with the season we had, because it just means that not only this year was taken into account to it, that all our hard work kind of paid off.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Mikaylie, and we're very grateful to receive this award. And also, it's very heartwarming because of all the skillful hockey players that had won this award before us, and it makes us feel really good.
Yeah, and I had you guys on yesterday, and we were unable to complete it due to some technical difficulties. But you guys said that usually, like last year's, I know that you said this, Abby, last year's essays writing about just the award, writing for the award was about the hockey side of things. This year it was about the COVID-19 side of things. Just what was that experience like, writing about COVID, your experiences in that rather than hockey?
Well, it was definitely a lot harder than writing about hockey because we had to channel so many emotions and so many things that we never got to do into one essay. And it was very hard to try and narrow down all the things we wanted to say about, how we got better during the season throughout these hardships and adversaries.
I thought he was asking the question. Yeah, it was definitely really hard to talk about this because it's been such a hard time, and like we kind of want to forget about it, even though it's a big part of our lives at this point. But it was definitely probably one of the hardest essays I've had to write.
Yeah, and let's just dive into what you wrote about, Mikaylie. You outlined that through all the adversities and the letdowns that COVID-19 has caused, you learned to take a bad situation and turn it into something that fuels you. So just going into that last part of that sentence, just the bad situation and turn it into something that fuels you. So during this time, what have you found that has been your motivation that has fueled you?
Well, as I said before, when our hockey season ended in November, we continued to have Zooms online and just kept working out with each other with the hope of being able to get to play together a few games by the end of the year. So that definitely fueled me into keeping myself in shape and bettering myself. But also the whole break and being able to do stuff that I'd like to do during the week also kind of helped me get a positive attitude now. Nice.
And just what would you say were those things that you found yourself doing more often during this time?
I've actually started taking up golf a little bit. So I've been practicing my golf skills in my backyard, and I was working out most days before, and I've been lacking a little bit right now, but yeah, just keeping myself busy a little more outside is what I'd like to do now.
I'm not sure if you guys are still talking, but yeah, I can't tell with your masks on, but for some reason I can't hear you right now. Found yourself doing during this time? Okay, I'll re-ask that question since I couldn't hear your answer on my end, but yeah. And Mikaylie, you talk about just the stuff that you found yourself doing during this time. Just what were the things that you would find yourself doing to keep yourself in that positive mindset during the whole COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I started out just working at the care home, and then when nicer weather hit, I took up golf for the first time, and I started practicing in my backyard, and I was working out for a little bit too, but I'm kind of slacking right now. But those are the things that I kind of did for a little bit.
It's awesome getting to do some golf. And have you seen improvements in the game as you've been able to practice more and more?
I'm working on it. I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Golf is a tough sport. I'm not very good at it myself, but yeah, it takes practice like anything. And yeah, you talk about just being able to help out, working in the care homes. Just what has that been like? Just getting to see it firsthand, just of the older people struggling through this time. Just being able to help them out through this time.
Well, I'm doing my part by keeping my distance and not visiting as many people as, well, I'm following the rules, obviously, and then seeing them all captive, not really captive, but they're all in this home. And at one point, there was a time where they couldn't even have visitors. So I felt it was my duty to be able to make conversation with them and keep them happy in there, because you know how lonely it can get.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. Especially during this time, for sure, it will get lonely. But it's great that you were able to be there and to be able to help them out. Let's dive into what Abbi was able to write about in her essay. Abbi, you wrote about how even though COVID-19 has stolen so many lives from you, it also gifted you the opportunity to spend more quality time with family and focus on physical healing. So, just the last time I had you on ASTV on my show Coffee with Graham on MFHL season coverage, I do believe we did dive into the injuries that you've had throughout your hockey career. Just what was that like for you? Just being able to actually have that chance to have some downtime and to focus on that physical healing.
Well, it was really nice, and sorry if any of my coaches are watching this, but I have hidden a lot of injuries throughout the years, especially with my quad really bothering me. But now being able to take this time to step back, my quad hasn't bothered me at all, and I just feel like I'm in a much better place with my physical well-being.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great that you've had a chance to get to that place that you're in now with your physical. With the physical aspect of things, for sure. Could you dive into just how it was like just adapting to everything through this time and the mental side of things? Because I know that with COVID-19, it's taken such a big toll on some people's mental state.
Well, yeah, definitely. Like, my mental state definitely went down because my motivation was definitely way less than in hockey season, because being so busy, you had a limited amount of time to do homework and do other things besides hockey. But now with this bullet of time, I found myself procrastinating a lot, and definitely, yeah, my motivation was just down in the gutter more than it usually is, in hockey season. So that was like really hard to get used to, and I kind of got a little bit better as the months went by, but still, it's nowhere near what it would have been if I would have had hockey.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And just how like Mikaylie talked about just the taking the bad situations and using it to, just feeling her basically. Just for you, Abbi, what did you find was the biggest motivator for you throughout this time to keep yourself motivated?
Well, as Mike said, like when we stopped in November, we had a bunch of workouts and with the hope in being able to play again. So I think that was my biggest motivation, was that little sliver of hope that we might be able to play again. So I, pushed myself in workouts and kept my physical health up with the hopes of being able to play, which we never did, but that did help me stay motivated.
Yeah, for sure. And just talking about the other thing that you wrote about, just spending more quality time with the family. How is that experience like? Just getting to spend that quality time with the family.
Well, I have 3 other siblings, and we're a huge hockey family, so we're gone almost every night. And without hockey, it was weird because we actually sat down for a family meal. And as the months went by, my siblings got on my nerves a little bit, but in the long run, like 10 years from now, I'm really going to be able to appreciate this time spent with my family.
Yeah, for sure. Getting to spend time with family, always a positive, especially in a time like this. And it's kind of a given that the siblings are going to get on your nerve after a while. Just a matter of time. But yeah, for you guys, just talking about that last team session for you, Abbi. Of course, this was your last season for now. looking into the future, maybe you'll pick up hockey again. But this was your last time ever playing competitive hockey at this point in your life. Of course, you guys are both seniors. So just what was that last team session like for you guys? Just realizing at that point that this was the end of your Pembina Valley Hawks career.
Well, for me, it was very, very emotional because usually, you have that last game where you can lay it all out on the ice and either you win or you lose, right? But at least you know that you gave it your all. Well, this year our last practice was spent, eating pizza in our dressing room, and so I never got that sense of closure to have. So in my heart, I still feel like I'm a Pembina Valley Hawk, which I know that I'm no longer because I'm graduated now, but. At our last practice, when our coach was reading out, he read out stats about all the players, and as soon as he said my name, I got very, very emotional. But yeah, it was just really, really hard to come to terms without having that, last game that you can pour your heart and soul and your 4 years of practice and dedication into. So yeah, it was just very hard.
Yeah. And for you, Mikaylie, how was that last team session like for you?
Well, just like Ab said, I felt like I was kind of robbed of my last game, and like I'm sitting here not knowing what would have happened if we gotten that chance. But definitely for that last session, it was a lot of fun for me. My coach my coach was reading out the stats, and once it got to my name, I couldn't help but laugh when he read out how many games I played because I was injured most of the time, and I was just giggling away. And then the thing that struck me the most is I went out of the dressing room to ask my coach to write the recommendation letter for this scholarship, and he said to me, "Thank you for an amazing 3 years," and that kind of did it for me. I just ran into the room crying at that point. I didn't know what to do with myself, so it was kind of emotional near the end, but glad I got to spend it with those people.
Yeah, for sure. And memories like that, those are what you'll take away from your time being a Pembina Valley Hawk. For sure, no matter like whether it comes to games, practices, you always remember the bonding and just what that team meant to you guys. For sure. Just talking about how the coaches were able to write letters of recommendation for you two. Just what was that like to have those kind words from those coaches? Being displayed in those recommendation letters.
Oh, well, it was amazing because I've known Dana Dana Bell, our head coach, was the one who wrote my recommendation letter as well as Mikay's. And I've known him for 5 years. And, you're not really he doesn't go out of his way to tell you, how much he likes you or, all the good things you do. So it was really, really nice for him to be able to compile a letter and just things I learned that I never thought he noticed or that he liked about me or thought about me, and it was just very heartwarming to know that he thought of those things.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the best letters I've ever gotten in my life because then I knew I actually did something right in those years that I played because, you always get that, "Oh, you played great" text from your coach or like, "Oh, I loved what you did there" and whatever. But when he actually points out like what made you a player and how like good you were, then that kind of just warmed my heart completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great. And just I asked you guys about what it was like getting to win this award earlier in the show, earlier in this interview. Just what was it like for you guys just finding out about it? Just where were you guys? How did you find out? Explain how that went for you guys.
Okay. Well, I was laying in my bed and all of a sudden I got an email and I go look at it and I definitely got a little excited and I jumped right out of my bed and I was just so pumped to go tell my mom about it. And she was definitely really proud of me for getting to win this award because she knows what it means to me, especially since it was a hockey one and how much effort I put into that essay, and she knew that it kind of left me a little sad having to write it, so it felt really good to win this award.
Yeah, definitely. Same with Mika. As soon as I got my email, I went right to tell my parents, and yeah, it was just so nice, and especially with the, big impact that school has on your bank account, just that extra little boost just is undeniably awesome.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And this brings me to just my final question. I might ask another question after, but this will probably be the final question I'll ask you guys. It's just for you two going into university. Abbi, you ended up winning $1,500 in terms of the scholarship, and Mikaylie, you won $500. So just to be able to get this support from the Pembina Valley Hawks to get this type of money that will most likely be used, I'm assuming, for your university, for your schooling. Just how nice is that to have that help from the Pembina Valley Hawks in that aspect?
Well, it's really, really awesome. Like I said before, and just knowing that I dedicated 4 years of my life and poured my heart and soul to be a Pembina Valley Hawk, and receiving this scholarship just makes me that much prouder to have worn a Hawks emblem on my chest, and it's just so great. I can't say it enough. I'm so thankful.
Yeah, I can't really say it any better than Abbi. I'm just so thankful that I was part of that Hawks family throughout these 3 years that I was there, and I'm so honored that I was able to get the scholarship under their name.
Looks like I'm muted. That was Abbi Conrad and Mikaylie Bibault just joining me on this edition of the show to talk about the scholarships that they won, the scholarship that they won, provided by the Pembina Valley Hawks. So coming up after the break, we got one more guest for you guys. I'm going to be joined by Gordie Tumilson. He's a ex-Winnipeg Jets WHA 1.0 goaltender. And yeah, he'll be joining me on the show, not to talk about the Jets, but to talk about this initiative, a trades initiative called Tooling Up for Teens. Stick with us here on Rise and Shine Manitoba. We'll be right back with you after the break. First, we'll go to break, and then we'll bring Gordie in here on this edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba here at ASTV.
Big Systems Beauty College is a little bit unique in respect to the way we teach our program. We don't do so much structure and learning and block teaching. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them. If they can move faster, they do so. Therefore, learning everything earlier and getting more practice in all segments of hairstyling as opposed to just being stuck in one section for a certain period of time. So we try to accommodate all the different learning styles.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Manitoba. We've had some great guests here on the show today. Of course, Harry Siemens on the Farm Report, and then Abbi Conrad and Mikaylie Bibault. The interview you guys just watched, a pre-recorded interview just talking about the scholarships that they won. It's going to be awesome to be able to see them have the chance to be able to use that money for their university. It's going to be awesome, and a big congratulations to them once again for winning those scholarships. So we're going to dive into the final segment here in the show. Like I said before the break, Gordie Tumilson, a ex-Winnipeg Jets WHA 1.0 goaltender, will be joining me not to talk about the Jets, but to talk about the trades initiative called Tooling Up Teens. So Gordie is joining me now. Gordie, thank you so much for joining me on the show. It's been a while since I've seen you. The last time I saw you was on a broadcast we did at Pilot Mountain to just cover the team, stuff like that, just doing a broadcast for some of you guys' exhibition games. It's great to have you on the show here today to talk about Tooling Up Teens. Just starting off with this question, how are you doing on this Monday morning, Gordie?
Well, that's great. Nice to see you again, Graham. It's super to sort of retouch with people that I haven't seen in a long time because of the pandemic, etc. And I'm doing just fine, thank you. And we're getting through this, and hopefully in a month or so we'll be back to sort of normal. And that'll be just great because summer's here, and we want to enjoy as much of that as we possibly can.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I got my vaccine booked for tonight, so I'm super excited for that to get my first dose. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But let's move away from that. Let's talk about tooling up teens. Just how did it start? How did it come about?
Wow, it kind of a neat thing. I've been in the steel industry for about 30 years or so as a sales rep and business manager and branch manager here in Winnipeg, and selling steel to construction people, machine shops, et cetera, et cetera. And my grandson, last summer, we got talking about what he was going to do as he moves towards his sort of junior high and then high school time. And he indicated he'd probably like to get into the trades. He's not kind of a computer guy or a desk guy. He wanted to do that. So I asked him how he would get into the trades. And his comment was, "I don't know." And so in my case, because of my job in the steel industry, I knew a gazillion people in the steel side of things, and many others in the wood and concrete business. So we were able to I conjured up this idea driving home after the conversation with him that maybe we should have some videos that we could show kids, and then maybe have as we sort of extended the conversation, maybe we should have a kid or a teenager actually be the host of these videos. And so we took this kind of really spontaneous idea, and we've turned it into 4 videos now on our website. And so we're pretty pleased with that. But that's how it got going. It's kind of just a little conversation with my grandson.
That's awesome. It's crazy how the simplest things can sometimes turn into something bigger, which is great. And you talk about the videos that you guys got out right now. You said there's 4 videos out right now, of course. Just like how things gone in terms of just getting these videos up, getting these videos recorded. How's that process been like?
Well, it's a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I just thought we would just take a cell phone or maybe a camera and just kind of do this. But I enlisted my friends at the Manitoba Construction Sector Council, who kind of relate to everybody in construction, and they have done many trades videos, 2 and 3 minute videos. The tooling up teen ones are a little bit longer, about 15 minutes. So they've done some shorter ones, and with a professional videographer. So we leaned on that idea to go to the professional videographer, editor. And so we started doing that back in October of last year, and we've got 4 out now. Just finished the 4th one probably a week or so ago, beginning of June, and we're quite pleased with that. And but there's a lot of work, there's a lot of planning, there's scripts to write, there's hosts. We have 2 co-hosts, 2 teen co-hosts that really help us out, make sure we get the questions right. They develop the questions with me, but there is a considerable amount of work, and but it's fun. It's really different, new, and exciting. And we've got 4 pretty neat videos out right now.
Yeah, and I bet. And just it seems like you guys, like you said on your website, you promote all promoting trades in all Manitoba, just schools, on all social media, YouTube, and every associated trades related website that will have you guys, companies, organizations, suppliers, and educators. Just what's it been like having the support from people like Trade Up Manitoba and just other places that we can see these videos on, other places that have been helping you guys out?
Well, we've gotten great support from the Winnipeg Construction Association, Pool Construction Limited, PCL, the Manitoba Construction Sector Council, who on arm's length to Trade Up Manitoba. We've gotten great support from the Canadian Institute of Steel Construction, who I worked for in the past. These are all sponsors of our program, and these sponsors can be found on the videos and on our website as well. So we're trying to let them know that we've got them in mind when we talk about this. So the support's been really good. It's been a bit of a struggle to kind of get this thing all ramped up in a big way, just because of the pandemic and budgets not being available for some organizations. Some companies have stepped up. The Brotherhood of Metal have jumped in. We've gotten great support, but there's lots more to come. We're sort of waiting for things to open up when the pandemic leaves us, and we can talk to more people about their needs.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. And just with 4 videos out right now, as 2021 rolls along, moving into 2022. Just how many videos do you see this tooling up teams rolling out?
Well, we thought we could get somewhere between 10 and 20. The goal would be every trade, but there's about 55 of those trades in Manitoba. So there's a lot of places for kids to go to work when they finish their high school. I guess that's the whole point of this. Is let's not forget that we're not going to touch everybody, I don't think, and it would take us a couple of years, and that's okay because the videos, of course, are long time standing. They're probably good for 10 years in existence. So, but we think 10 to 20 would be great, and basically what we're trying to do is get enough interest in trades generally through these videos, but generally in trades to chase students and parents to our website, and we have a super connector spot on our website, and that connects the trade, the student, the parent, the trade, and the school that they might want to attend, post-secondary school. It's all lumped into one place. And so we call that the super connector site. So we're trying to get 10 to 20 trades in, but we're also trying to get folks to go to the site, because we're not going to get everybody, but all the trades are listed under Trade Up Manitoba, so we can get them all in sort of in a backdoor sort of way.
And does the amount of trades that you guys have to offer depend on how much interest there is in tooling up teams?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a cost to this. This is a privately not for certainly not for profit, a not for profit. Nobody gets paid entity other than our professional videographer and editor. So we're doing it as volunteers, and so we're counting on the individual trades to be able to support this. And we're hoping for some government money at some point, but with the pandemic and all those costs, those money should go to healthcare. We're not looking for their money, and so we're privately funded, and so we're just trying to make it a go. So anybody who's got a few extra bucks on the side, if they're interested, we'd love to talk to them about it and kind of go through the process.
Yeah, that's great that you guys aren't doing this to gain a profit off of it. You guys are doing it for the good of the teens, just talking about if you guys are looking to expand your team over the next few years, are you guys looking to keep the team the same size as it is now, or are you guys looking to expand into different ventures in terms of different people you can bring in?
Well, we would consider another videographer or team for sure. If we got to the point where we had more than one of these per week, we'd be all over that opportunity. But right now, we can do one a week, and it takes about a month to organize any particular video. They're sort of complex. There's dates and times and facilities and spokespeople and on-camera people. Yeah, we do need a lot of that going on. So that's something we do. So we can do one, maybe two a week with the present organization. But if push comes to shove, we'd love to have more than one video team out there doing their thing for sure.
Just speaking of how COVID-19 has affected you guys at this point, just how much of an effect has the pandemic had on tooling up teams?
Well, it has slowed the interest in actually getting something done. I think I alluded to earlier that budgets. What we're trying to do is touch every organization, like in particular the Canadian Institute of Steel Construction, for instance. They look after the people who build buildings in the country and in Manitoba. And so we went to them, and we've gone to other organizations such like themselves, provincial organizations, but they've been sort of held up funding wise, and so they've not been able to commit to monies, nor then to time or to the project, and the project actually comes along at a good time with COVID going on. These organizations are not being able to sort of produce the normal, in-person projects that they have, whether conferences or whatnot. So, it's kind of a catch-22. No, there's no money. There's kind of a ifs and buts and whatnot. So, but it has delayed the decision-making process. A lot of interest, but the decision-making process has been left to be held until this COVID thing is put down quite a bit.
Just moving into the goals of tooling up teens. You guys have two goals. I mean, you guys have the goal of give every teen an opportunity to find a trade if the passion and aptitude are in place for such a future. Just how much can you speak about just the passion of the teens that have come in so far to I guess teaming up with tooling up teens?
Well, we've watched this for over a long period of time. I've being involved for 30 years in the industry, in one industry, steel, but being connected to the Winnipeg Construction Association, for instance. They have a huge day in May usually, except for the last 2 years with COVID, where kids come and it's a trades day, and we get 2,000 kids coming through that trades day, and a lot are turned back because they just don't have the room for them on the day. But we do get a lot of kids that ask questions, that want to know about the trades. They just don't know where to go and where to start and how to find it, and so. We're trying to, like my grandson, just hit a nerve, find that child that is interested in something other than book learning. There's some book learning in trades, but just total book learning and getting their hands dirty. And those are the kids with the passion. And when we get to those kids, we think that we can turn them on really easily. We probably get to about half of the kids that really want to get into trades. And so we're looking to get to another half again, as many we touch now.
And that's awesome that you guys are just able to give this opportunity to allow teens to be able to do this, give them a different option than just the standard high school route of just taking traditional academics. But going into the second goal that you guys got, it's about a start, given a starting point or a start point and easy travel to finding these teens' way into fulfilling a worthwhile trades career. So just talk about how you guys with this initiative, Tooling Up Teens, have been able to provide that easy starting point for teens to get into the trades.
Yeah, that's a great question, Graham. The one thing we've tried to do is tee up the schools. We haven't had quite as much success there because of the pandemic and schools coming and going in and out and kids coming and going. However, at the end of the day, we've tried to. We're teaming up with shop teachers, guidance counselors, career counselors, and kids who have a passion, and kids are showing their passion for things much earlier in life than they used to. By the time we got to 15, most kids, kind of knew what they wanted to do. Now it's 10, 11, 12. So we've tried to touch that base, and the school teachers and people around and parents with this project. And then once they've kind of seen a video, we chase them right to Trade Up Manitoba to find the other videos that they can look at. They then find something that might turn them on as a trade opportunity. Then they go to the school, and they go to the post-secondary school in their area, which may be in the Paw, Manitoba, Thompson, Winnipeg, Steinbach, Brandon. It could be any one of those places. They find a post-secondary school or even a high school that has upgraded trades programs, and this allows them to find out what they can get there and make a plan. So they're not surprised. They don't have to wait till they're 17 or 18 to figure out where they're going to go. They know when they're 14 what's coming and what they can do. So we've packaged that up in one place, which is what I found was missing. It was a sort of a helter-skelter business. We had to kids had to kind of go here, go there, find something, didn't know. And my grandson, who didn't have a clue, came as a surprise to me. But so we've combined all that in one place. And all we're doing is really just sharing websites and chasing the interest to those websites, but really pointedly, so that we can take their passion and put it in the right place right away.
Yeah, and that's great. And I know that there's a trade school in my neighborhood in Windsor Park here called the Arts and Technology Center. That's a great option for just anybody, not just teens, but just a great place for high school kids to go. There's some other great places in Manitoba, as you said, as well. But just in terms of if I wanted to sign up, if I'm 20 years old now, so I'm not a teen, I guess, anymore, which is crazy to say. Just crazy how the time flies by. But just talking about if I were to be a teen, if I wanted to get into trades and, sign up for Tooling Up Teens, just how would I be able to do that? Just through the website, correct?
Well, yeah. First of all, we're glad to talk to anybody, through the email process or just connecting through the website. That's fine. And there is a contest on that's going to have a winner coming up fairly shortly for either an iPad or some kind of electronic piece of equipment that is going to be really special. In fact, there's going to be two prizes in that regard. So we're hoping that we get some kids to sign up that way. But moreover, what we want them to do is to connect to the trade, which they can do by going on to the video of their choice after they've looked after our video. So when they go on our website, they can start to kind of look for things and look on that super connector section. That's the real important area, and we link to absolutely everything in there. So that's where we want to chase kids to, the super connector spot. And so they can contact us by email and we'll redirect them accordingly. But if they go to the Super Connector site, they can find absolutely everything they need to do there. There's emails and there's other methods of contacting various trades and schools right there as well. So they don't have to go any further, hit a couple of links, watch for emails and other things, and make their connection to the appropriate trade or school.
Oh, that's great. And the draw will take place on June 15th for those two prizes, correct? So so for anyone that wants to win some electronics, enter for two. Be sure to check out Tooling Up Teens on their website. It's toolingupteens.ca, correct?
Great.
So just check that out. Check out all the great stuff that this initiative has to offer, and maybe you can have a chance to win an iPad or something else by entering in that draw. So, Gordie, I'm gonna let you go now, but thanks so much for letting us know about what Tooling Up Teens is all about. I'm sure that this will open up some interest in Tooling Up Teens and get some more eyes on the website for sure.
That's great, Graham. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. I'll let you go now, Gordie. Have a good one.
Thank you.
And that was Gordie Tumilson, of course, ex-Winnipeg Jets, WHA 1.0 goaltender, joined me on today's edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba. Stick with me. I'll be right back after the break to give some final words on this edition of the show on this Monday morning, where I think it's like 11:01 a.m. now, so we're just over an hour here in the show. And it's been a lot of fun today, but I'm going to be back with you guys in just a moment to give some final words on today's edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba. Stick with us. Welcome back to this edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba here on ASTV Productions. We're just over an hour in our broadcast today, or I should say broadcast, probably sounded like broadcast, but we're just over an hour into our Monday episode of Rise and Shine here. Of course, the only time you can watch it here on Mondays if you want to watch it live, but yeah, you can check it out anytime on our pages like ASTV Productions on Facebook, or you can visit our website to watch all our episodes on astvproductions.com. But yeah, this is going to end off today's episode. But before I let you guys go, if you guys didn't know, in last week's edition of the show, I announced that we're doing a giveaway with Deluxe Boys. It's a lacrosse brand here in Manitoba for kids still in school, trying to grow that game of lacrosse. And yeah, it's a great thing that they're doing. So I decided to, why not buy a $100 gift card and give it away to our viewers here on Rise and Shine Manitoba. So basically, how you enter to win this $100 gift card from the Deluxe Boys is you gotta go to our Facebook page, go to our Instagram page, or go to our Twitter page, and there's links to where you guys can go and go to the post here in the description of this episode. It's at the bottom of the episode. We got our Facebook linked, our Instagram, and our Twitter as well. And yeah, just click on the links that are provided in the description of today's episode, and then it'll show you just how to enter, just a list of things of how to enter, things you got to do to enter to win this gift card giveaway. And yeah, out of all the entries, out of all the people that enter here on Rise and Shine Manitoba on our June 28th episode on that Monday morning, I'll be picking a winner. A winner, sorry, not a winner, but a winner at random. And yeah, you're going to be able to have a chance, if you do enter, to receive that $100 gift card prize on that Monday if we do draw you here on Rise and Shine Manitoba. So good luck to everyone who enters. It's for a great cause, just to raise some awareness for the Deluxe Boys and just what they've been doing, just trying to grow the brand of lacrosse, the sport of lacrosse, as I should say. And yeah, stay tuned for our June 28th show, where we'll announce the winner here live on Rise and Shine Manitoba. I'm thinking at the either at the beginning of the show or at the end of the show. We'll see. Maybe at the end of the show is best, just to build some anticipation for everybody watching. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's edition of Rise and Shine Manitoba here on ASTV Productions. I've been your host this morning, Graham Forsyth. I know we were a bit sloppy, a bit rusty this morning. Of course, I said the wrong name of just the legacy scholarships from Pembina Valley. Corrected that in the intro to just introducing them. I know that there was a part in the pre-recorded interview that I forgot to cut out. I grabbed the wrong file. My apologies on that. But yeah, other than that, I like to think it went pretty smoothly. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, be sure to leave a like or a comment or a reaction or whatever, just to let us know if we did a good job today, if we did a good job today. And yeah, special thanks to Harry Siemens, Mikaylie, Bibault, Abbi, Conrad, and Gordie Tumilson for coming on the show. Rise and Shine Manitoba will be returning for another episode next Monday at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. That's 10 a.m. That's 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. My apologies, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. But mainly for you guys in Manitoba, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time is the time you're going to want to watch. 10 a.m. local time. And yeah, you can check out next week's edition of the show on all the places, as always, on our Facebook at ASTV Productions, or on our website at astvproductions.com. But until next Monday, folks, I've been your host of Rise and Shine Manitoba, Graham Forsyth. Happy to be back again on this Monday morning. And until next Monday, Manitoba, cheers. I'll see you then. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the sunshine too. Take care.